welcome to Into Life. And today we're going to talk about something that I think is interesting and it relates to us more than anything else and for a lot of people out there. We're talking about why is it harder for men to bounce back post 50, the age of 50? Why is it so difficult to bounce back to success?
Yeah.
Not just to just surviving, but to thriving. To being successful. Why is it harder? It is really a lot harder.
Yeah.
And I think we want to focus on men, not just because we're just men, but I think there is a real big difference between men and women at that age.
Yeah,
I think there's a huge difference.
Yeah.
And I think there are some issues, sociologically in that sense as well, economically, psychologically and all those sort of things. First things, I think that men at that time, friendships come and go, and men are notoriously sort of, friendships fade out, and they come back in, or they fade altogether. Because sometimes even guys that have been that have known each other for a long while and they have a marriage or whatever it is, or settle down, they lose touch with people that have known for 15, 20 years or longer. And the wife says, well, why don't you speak to Jim or this or that? Oh yeah, I'll give him a call. And they lose touch, and that's what happens.
That's right.
So when the trauma takes up, say, for example, divorce, for example, when that occurs, then, oftentimes men will bottle that up.
That's right.
Yeah. And I think another aspect of this as well, not just divorce, but at 50 plus, one of the things you're dreading at the time is losing your job.
Definitely.
Yeah? So if you're 56, 57, mid-50s, mid to late 50s, you're thinking, oh my God, you know what? I'm thinking about that. And sometimes, I think for some people, 50 plus, they may feel as if they're in their 30s and and forget the number.
Yeah, that's true.
And think, well, okay, I'm 50 something, but I don't feel it. I still feel young until something happens. Like, for example, they lose their job, they're thinking about that again, how to get back into employment. And then when they write their CV out for their age, and then somebody interviewing is much younger, and look at,
that's right.
This person's really old. We need somebody younger to be able to do this job because it'll cost less. They may be more tech savvy.
That's right.
They may have a better ability to do the job, but it doesn't mean that that's all true.
That's right.
But it's just the perception. And so it's harder for when people get older.
Yeah, it is.
And I think also for men, there's a specific issue, and I think that for men over 50, so mid-50s, whatever it is, generally speaking, it's a blanket reference, they're seen or feel that they should be a provider. And then there's going to be that stereotypical idea of what happens in a home.
That's right.
That the woman will have more nurturing responsibilities, and the man will have more providing. In that sense, that's generally speaking what goes on. And if he can't get to do those things, if somehow he's, it's taken away from him, he lost his job, or divorce, or maybe both at the same time. That's hard to bounce back from. Particularly lost a job, because men are judged in a certain way, generally speaking. Certain men at our age group. I'm not sure about sort of younger guys so much, but it is different. I think the world is different now. But I'm not talking about that. We're talking about men 50 plus. They're judged because oftentimes people say, "Oh yeah, so what car are you driving now?" And if you say, "Well, I'm not driving," oh, okay. You working? What you doing now?
What you doing now? What you doing?
I'm not working. Immediately, that person is going to feel pretty bad about themselves. Another person thinks like, "What's happened?" What's happened? And also meeting women. If you're trying to reestablish yourself and meet women 50 plus, and you've not got a job, not working, that's a non-starter.
That's a non-starter, mate.
Non-starter. So it is difficult.
Yeah.
It is very, very difficult. And then we're going to try to go into some points about why that is. And also not just finish on a low point, but finish about what you can do.
Yes, yeah.
Because our role outside of this, what we're doing here now, we do performance coaching, mentoring, if you like, life coaching in that sense, and mentoring. It's what we do. So it could be something useful for you to contact us about how you can do that. We put together a little roadmap at the end that you can use, and hopefully it will help you if you find yourself in that situation.
Yeah.
But I think it's important to understand with some stats that we're going to be giving you as well, that you're not alone. It's not something that's just independent to you and specifically about just you're the one who lost it, you're the failure, because you're not. We also understand that there's a degree of wisdom, I believe, that can only occur through age.
Yeah, and adversity.
Yeah. Well, people can adversity young, but the wisdom is the point.
Yeah.
Because the adversity is the difficulties.
Yeah.
But it's the wisdom and having these events culminate and stack up.
They definitely do.
It's about what you've learned and the resilience you've gained from that. And sometimes the resilience is unrecognized. Yeah, so you can be 50 plus and don't recognize that you're actually quite resilient because you've been through a lot.
That's right.
And you manage to keep going, keep afloat. But it's not about keeping afloat. What we're talking about is bouncing back to success.
That's right.
And that's a big difference. That's a big difference. Yeah? So I think that's what we're looking at today. How do you bounce back to success? How do you get that? What's a roadmap? How do you do that? And I think that there are lots of things for men 50 plus. Lots of health issues, lots of other issues that come into it. And I've written some notes here that I think that there's... I think men are put to this degree of social isolation for men. And I think guys have, generally speaking, I'm just generalizing now, have smaller networks.
Yeah, I'd definitely
smaller
agree with
networks.
that. Yeah.
They're not always as big.
Yeah.
You might, when you're young, you might have a big network of friends from school, college, uni, whatever it is. And that slowly whittles down.
That's right.
And particularly when men get married. Or settle down with somebody, then their network gets smaller. Because if there's a breakup and the wife and the husband shares friends,
that's right.
then oftentimes the woman takes the friends. She's got the friends because obviously it's going to be a lot more women than the husband.
That's right. Yeah.
So it's the guy finds himself with a very small amount of friends. And can he share that? I mean, sometimes with guys who are 50 plus, if a guy does talk about the challenges he's facing, the difficulties he's facing, sometimes his friends are carrying big burdens themselves and they're thinking, oh, mate, I can't cope with your stuff as well.
That's right. That's right.
Yeah. So they tend to be a little nonchalant.
That's right.
With listening to the stories. Sometimes for some people, but sometimes there's one person that will hear you out and will give you that. But not everybody has that one person. Not everybody has. Some men are on their own, and that's the real. And more men like that are on their own, and that's, I think, the real difficulty. And
I think what I would say in terms of those situations, I think it's really important that you go out your way to seek, especially if you are isolated, to go out your way to seek support networks if you can. I know it is. No, it's hard.
Think about it. 50 plus.
Yeah.
Not really hitting a nightclub,
No, definitely
see?
not. No.
So most of your friends are either settled, living with somebody, or divorced, kids, grandkids, whatever it is, at that time. They're occupied, they're busy.
That's right, yeah.
And you may well be as well, or you may not be. But I think, again, let's say you're a guy who has a child, a son, daughter, whatever it is, and they've got their own life, whatever it is, but you're on your own and you don't really have that big network. It's tough.
No, it is.
It's
It
tough.
is.
It's tough.
It is.
So I think there are lots of things like that which we'll sort of expand
Yeah,
on.
yeah.
But then we've got sort of ageism in the workplace.
That's right.
So again, if you lost your job through redundancy, sometimes getting another job can be difficult unless you hold specific set of unique skills that is hard to gain. But once you climb up that I think when you hit 50, it's quite funny because when you hit 50, you start climbing up that ladder, 51, 52, 53. So the 51, 52, 53, you're sort of you're in that danger zone, but you're sort of coming towards it. But I think once you get to mid 50s, then you really are in that dangerous place. 58, 59, people start thinking, oh my God, that's a granddad or that's a grandmother.
That's right, yeah.
And I think it's difficult at that point in the workplace.
Yeah.
So if you're lucky enough to get that interview and then people see, oh, obviously I'm shocked because you're articulate, you're able to do this, all that. They think, oh, okay, particularly if you keep yourself in shape. Because a lot of times people have been shocked, or younger people in their 30s have looked at some CV who may be 59, 60, and they've got an image of what they may look like, you see? And then when they see the person come in, mentally very sharp, able, they've often been, shocked, in good shape. Oh, wow. And that can be to your advantage as well sometimes, if you're lucky enough to get that interview. So that's another thing. But I think it's difficult. It's difficult. But again, physically, health-wise, health is a big issue as well. Sometimes for men over 50, because recovery from illnesses is going to be slower.
That's right.
If it's a physical, people have back problems. Yeah, that's an issue. Sciatica, growing issue. All sorts of other little things.
Yeah. And I think generally when we look at kind of like the health or the life expectancy of men, it's actually. So if you have someone that lives in a deprived area, I think they're talking about like 9.7 years lower than somebody that lives in a well area, which is significant, almost 10 years.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I mean, definitely. And men in doing different types of physical labor. I mean, men who work in construction, for example, that's another one that's difficult. That's another area where men who are 50 plus. Wow.
I know. I mean, imagine that you get someone like a bricklayer that's really manual work.
Yeah, anything. Plaster, whatever it is. Once it's 50 plus, some of them, depending if it's like a carpenter, electrician, they can manage.
Yeah.
But bricklaying, plastering, it gets harder at that age.
And it's funny.
Their back goes out, knee goes.
That's it, yeah.
That's a hard job.
Yeah, it is.
And oftentimes they need to retrain in different skills.
Yeah, no, most definitely. And I think another factor, especially in terms of health, is the whole added thing about masculinity in terms of wanting to seek help, i.e. going to doctor's appointments.
Yeah,
those kind of things.
That's another one.
You know what I mean? We're not the best to be going down there and saying we need help.
We need help. We try to manage ourselves or ignore it.
And we need assist. And there was a stat actually that said that I think 31% saw the GP once a year, 14% admitted to seeing them for regular checkups. 39% just didn't bother at all. 31% just couldn't be bothered because they couldn't actually get into the place, obviously due to the demand of it. And I think, when we think about kind of like in terms of our health condition, how important it is to ensure that, that everything is being ticked over and everything is working okay.
Yeah, that's true. And certainly over 50 is very, very important. And I think that, again, another thing, just looking at this, that falls by the wayside. When you get to 50 plus, I think that a lot of guys tend to forget about what they eat. They forget about the healthy stuff, whatever, until something happens.
Yes, you're right. Actually, yeah.
So they'll start eating processed foods. Maybe they were a bit athletic when they were younger. Maybe, but then they don't go and exercise. So the weight goes on. They don't do this, don't that. They sit in front of the TV a bit more often. Because there are people that I know that if you say to them, look, come, let's go and do this, let's go and do that, they just don't go. They just don't leave their homes.
Wow.
They just don't want to do any activity.
That's it.
No activity at all. But when you're younger, do this, do that, or whatever it might be, badminton, they'll do something. But when it gets an age, they don't want to do anything. Nothing.
It's funny because
it's crazy.
Yeah, no, it's crazy. You know what though? They've actually, I know that I remember watching a program a little while back, and there was this guy, I think he was about probably about 50 years, 55, 60 years old. And he said about his passion of loving football, and what he said is that he just loved to go in there and play football, but he just didn't have the confidence to go and do it and to go and do it again. But one of the things that they've changed lately, they do walking football now, don't they?
Yeah, walking football.
Yeah, so basically it allows people that actually perhaps haven't got the mobility in the same.
And maybe knee problems as well, and back problems, whatever.
Yeah.
Exactly. But I think it's so important that when you're 50 plus to do something.
Oh, definitely.
To keep yourself active, change your mindset, which we'll come on to later, all the things you can do.
Yeah. And actually, one thing I want to mention to you really quickly, I just thought also, I remember, there was a concern in terms of prostate cancer for men.
Yeah.
And I know that there was kind of some information about that was going on around, what you have to do to make sure that you're okay. Yeah. And the examination that the doctor would undertake as a relation to that. That scared people off. People wouldn't want to go down there because of that.
But a lot of people don't want to do that because of the way it's conducted. But I think they're doing some new.
No, they've changed that now. They've changed that now.
Yeah, now they don't have to sort of they don't have to enter the no-go zone or whatever it is. They don't have to do it anymore. So but I think again as well, these things that crop up often to do with the stresses that men have, not eating right, and also the hereditary things there, organic things as well, genetic things, just say, as well. But eating, I think the problem is when you get older, the things that you used to like to eat when you're younger, you just got to stop eating them. You got to change your diet.
Take a pause on that.
You got to change your diet completely and exercise, hydrate, get sleep.
Yeah. Actually, the funny thing is, what we don't really, I think, as men, take into account is that our bodies are changing all the time. So actually, and I remember talking to my friend the other day, he's like, man, I'm 50 now, and I'm struggling in terms of the weight. It's just coming on, and I'm training like I used to train felt like I used to train back in the day. But the point is that our bodies are changing all the time, and we've got to adapt to that.
Yeah. I think exactly. If myself, I was quite fit and able. And when you get to a certain age, the weight sits there.
Just seriously, ain't going nowhere.
And then some people will say, some trainers will say, oh no, you can get rid of that. But no, I think there's a genetical element to it.
Definitely.
When you get to a certain age, if some bits, in my opinion, won't change that much. And your physical shape changes.
Yeah.
It changes. Yeah. And there's nothing you can do about that. Yes, you might have to add muscle, get toned, or whatever it is. Yeah. But irrespective of that, it's important to just do something.
Definitely. Even if it's a walk or something like that, I think. Yeah.
I think walking is, in my opinion, I'm not giving you health advice here and like that. In my opinion, walking is great, it's good. But doing something that's going to get your cardio moving.
Oh, yes, definitely.
So even if you do a treadmill or you walk and go into a little light jog and then calm down again, if you can go to a light jog, or just do something, get on a bike and give it a good pedal, get your heart rate going, because it's important. Your heart is a muscle.
Yeah, that's right.
And so it has to, it can't just be, when you're walking, you're not out of breath, you're just walking.
No.
Your legs get tired.
Yeah.
In your whatever. But if you've got to do something to get the heart pumping, I think, get it working, I think it's important. Get those arteries going.
You know what?
Dilating.
The thing is this. I think, especially in terms of where things are now, there's so much stuff that you can do that you enjoy. I played badminton the other day. Loved it. I haven't played it for God knows, a couple of good years, but it gets you about, gets you moving in the way that.
Yeah, and if you can't do badminton, if you can't do it, then table tennis.
That's seriously.
A great one to keep. You're moving, and it actually tires you out.
Oh, seriously, you get a workout. You get a
real workout. So a lot of things people can do.
Yeah.
Loads of physical games. But I think the biggest problem is, in my opinion, I think when people get to 50 or and over 50, their friendship circles are so small, they try to look at, if they want to be active, they're looking at people, their friends, let's go and do this. And then, oh no, I can't be doing that. And so then they have to go out.
Okay.
And at 50 plus, think about this. If you go to a center where they do activities, how do you break into other friendship groups? It's really difficult. And for example, if there is a guy who's 50 plus, all right, and he has another friend or a couple of friends who are doing a particular game or sport at a health club, whatever it is, you as a loner aren't going to go up like a 4-year-old or 10-year-old. Can I play? Can I play? I mean, they're going to be a little, well, we're just doing what we're doing. But, they're not going to be as welcoming. Some people might be welcome and say, yeah, join us. Some people may not be. Most won't be, because we just lose that openness.
You know what, though? I mean, on that note, I remember probably a little while back, I was playing table tennis competitively, and I joined a club. And I think that in those situations where you're joining a club and
that's different.
That's different, yeah.
That's different, because you join the club and there are people in the club. That's different. Well, I'm just saying, if you're a stranger walking into a center,
I know.
It
can
be
difficult.
Yeah,
of course, it's daunting. Yeah,
it can be difficult.
Yeah,
and but even so, it's important to get there and do something to motivate yourself. And I think that even if you are on your own, maybe you have no brothers, no sisters, not many friends, whatever it is, and they don't want to do anything anyway, you should still go out there and do something.
Definitely.
Even just go to a gym, join a gym, and do something. It's so important. So important.
And the funny thing is, it's funny, and I find this, that if you go in an environment by yourself, you'll be surprised at how many people you'll find yourself perhaps even talking to, conversations spark, you know what I mean? Yeah. And friendships may be made as a result of that.
Exactly. So things like that. So I think it's very important to get out there. It's very, very important to get out there and look at it. But I think before you can get to that point, you have to be able to evaluate your experiences when you get to a certain age. Because particularly now, with the world changing as it is, everything's moving much faster. And if you're 50 plus, I'm sure you're going to agree that the world is moving at a rapid pace in terms of technical advancements and so on, etc. And you may feel like somebody that you're being left behind. And you have to really push the gauntlet to keep up, or just trying to whatever. Because sometimes I feel like that. I step my game up to be able to understand what's happening. And that itself can be hard.
Definitely.
So it's about mindset. It really is about mindset. And I would suggest as well, although some people say it's a bit of a cliche type.
Okay, go on.
But it's how you look at yourself. I think there are certain things you need to do. Get in the gym, exercise, think differently. And if you do have mates or friends or whatever it is, that I remember in 1922 and I remember in 1974, and just keep away from that. The ones that don't want to do anything, they see your friends, but try and link yourself with people who are active.
I hear that. I agree with that.
And if you've got a young vision, a young heart, be around people who are younger.
Yeah, definitely.
That's what I would say. Be around people that are younger, that have that energy. Because for me, I still have that energy, that and being around people that are younger, I know I'm still vibing. I'm saying younger. I'm not talking about like 20, 22. That's a whole other level. But people, he said, in their 40s, in terms of 30s and 40s, I still find, I still have that same energy.
Definitely.
And to relate to and to speak in that way. But the point is, being in that area allows you to think differently.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Even though, realistically, you have passed through more years than you have ahead of you. Yeah, that's a key element to it. That you now have less years ahead of you than you had behind you.
Yeah.
But I think if you focus on that, my point is, if you focus on that too much, then that takes away your drive
and the experience.
If you focus on your age and you say, oh, well, I'm 55, 56, I'm 52, I'm 58, I'm 60, I'm 61, whatever age it is past 50, and you make that your focus, and you start acting that way, start dressing in a way in which you think you should, then it's game over.
No, it's game
because you've defeated yourself.
No, without a doubt. You know what? Perception, in my eyes, is, in terms of how you see yourself, is the greatest tool. And it's funny, I was in the gym the other day. It's funny because normally, as an older guy in the gym, people, I laugh at the younger guys who are 30, 35. Oh, I'm old. And I'm like, old what? You ain't started yet. You should be in your peak. But one time I was in the gym and there was a guy who was 65.
Wow.
But he looked in good shape, proper good shape. Yeah. And we were talking and he was saying, listen, you're just a young pup. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It was like almost a role reversal. But I think, it's really important that we really understand and we have a view about who we are, what we are, and actually who we want to become. I think those are just, they're key assets in terms of...
And I think it's important as well. I think you hit a really great point about who you're going to become. And I would say as well, it's about, because when you pass 50, it's not so much about who you're going to become, because you are there.
Yeah.
But I think it's a great point, because about where you want to be.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. And now with your experiences, because adversity and challenges stack up.
Yeah.
As in life, you go on, because jobs, working, relationships, marriages, breakups, redundancies, losing jobs, whatever. All these experiences, stack up and give you a lot of wisdom. Now, if you're 50 plus, you think, you need to sit back. Just sit back and think about all what you passed through, what you've been through, and how's that made you today?
That's right.
Are you positive? Are you feel more negative or more jaded and cynical as a result? They need to challenge yourself.
That's right.
These experiences have made me cynical, but they shouldn't define me.
That's right.
They shouldn't say, well, I've been through this and now I'm like this.
That's right.
Like, for example, men that oftentimes go through relationships, whatever it is, and they may have made choices or poor choices in terms of their partnerships.
Yeah.
Maybe they made poor choices in terms of what they did in the relationship.
That's right, yeah.
But whichever way, that should define you.
That's right.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Because in that process, you need to work out, well, I experienced that, and for example, there's old saying that sometimes, we say this as kids a lot of time, that if you find the right person, it's like eating in as opposed to getting a takeaway.
Okay.
Yeah? That when you eat at home, you don't really yes, you're right.
Yeah.
When you eat at home and you eat good home cooked food, is an analogy now.
Okay.
Good home, then there's no need for a takeout. There's no need to get a takeout.
Yeah.
So that means if you've got somebody whom you can gel with, is there for you, you're there for her, she's there for you, you're there as a partnership. There's no need to get out of whatever. And that takes work. Now, the problem is with all of this, with relationships, is that in my view, there's give and take. There's two things that's going on here. And if you've made a choice for a partnership and you've not put the work in and it falls apart, you need to learn from that.
That's right.
Irrespective of blame.
Yeah.
If you've chosen somebody that hasn't put the work in or fails to put the reciprocate what you're putting in, then why did you choose that person in the first place? So you need to ask those questions and don't blame it because the person is the person before you met them and after you met them. And the red flags have been there from before or after. So you've got to say, well, that's the person who they are. You can't blame a dog for being a dog because it barks.
That's right.
A dog's a dog and dogs bark. So my point is, if you meet somebody that wasn't really compatible with you, but you still manage to settle with them and do with it, then that's your choice at the time. But you learn from that. And it's not about blaming, oh, she's no good, she's not this. No, you chose the person. What was it about you that made you choose that person, even though you felt that they weren't the right one? Is it your need to just get with that person? Or to have somebody there? Or the need to, so you learn from that and develop from that. So that when you become happier with yourself.
You know what, Andrew, I think a key thing in this, I think, is about honesty. You have to be able to look at yourself on all angles and all sides and look at yourself and say, right, okay, and have to be honest with yourself, because sometimes we aren't honest with ourselves.
We live the line, we like to blame and whether it's, and sometimes it is the other person's fault, sometimes it is your fault, or a combination of both. But it doesn't matter.
That's right.
It's about the choices you make.
That's right.
That's what it boils down to. And what are you learning from that? What are you learning from that? What have you learned about yourself from that? And where do you want to be? So when you get to 50 plus, you've got to think to yourself, well, okay, here you are now where you have less years ahead of you than you have behind you. How do you want to play out the rest of your time?
That's right. Yep.
And I think, if you want to be happy,
got
to learn to be happy with yourself.
That's right.
Where you are.
That's right.
Look at what you've learned. Maybe things weren't going right for you. You say, well, now things are going to go right for me. Do the things you like to do.
That's right.
Eat better, sleep better. Have considered friendships, considered relationships. Yeah. And that's it. And sometimes people do at that age, men and women, walk around with their bag of burdens and problems, and that's who they become. I think if you see people like that, navigate away from them.
Definitely. I think one of the things that we do though is that when we have circumstances and situations, difficult situations too, I think we tend to personalize them, like it's a personal vendetta against us. You know what I mean? As opposed to kind of navigating and thinking, hold on a second, how do I define that situation, that circumstance? Do I actually look at it and think, okay, what can I learn from that situation? As opposed to thinking, okay, that's a bad situation or that's a good situation. Just moving away from that and thinking, okay, look, what does that situation teach me about myself?
That's right. I think that's important to do. So guys, I think you're getting some information now about what it is, and it's not really that difficult. And you might think to yourself, well, yes, you say it's not difficult, but trauma and not trauma, but life's challenges. It's happened, and you've been through it, and you're at the other end.
Yeah, that's right.
And you're listening to this.
That's right.
So now it's time to say to yourself, well, okay, I'm 50 plus. What am I going to do? What do I want to do now?
That's right.
And whether you are working or not working, whatever, what do you do? What new skills are you going to learn?
That's right. Yeah.
Take your time. Sometimes you may need a mentor to help you do that. Go and find one. Don't be a skinflint and think, I'm not going to do that, or it's too much. Do it. What's the problem? Do it. There are so many people who get to 50 plus, and there's so many stories of men having huge breakups, losing their home as a result of the divorce and so on. Not having access to the kids or something like that. And then losing a job at the same time.
That's right, yeah.
Right? Living in one room, homeless sometimes.
That's right.
Or, I mean, the stats are quite huge for that.
They're massive. Massive.
And there are people who get into that situation. You don't sit down and say, well, I'm not going to be defined by that.
That's right.
That's not going to be my story.
That's right. Yeah.
That where it ends, the end.
Yeah.
And they think, well, I'm going to do something else. And I remember I was speaking to a chap a long time ago. This is when I was younger.
Okay.
Right? And at the time, he was about 54, 55.
Okay.
He'd been through a brutal divorce.
Wow.
Right? And things weren't good for him. Just about managed to get into a room. Then couldn't afford to pay for that. And had to squat.
Jeez.
Really difficult. And he was 54, 55 at the time. And he was saying to me, you know, he didn't know what to do. He didn't know what to do. He thought, is this it? Is this how I'm going to live out the rest of my days?
Wow.
Just living on the street, whatever it is. And he had that nice house. He had a car, this. And his wife said, well, I want a divorce. That was it. So his whole life changed. And he felt completely out of control.
Yeah, that's the key, I think. Yeah.
That something was taken away from him. Yeah? So he said to himself, he's not going to let that be the case. He's not going to be full stop, the end. So he gathered his thoughts, lost his job at the time.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's why he's squatting.
Wow.
So he was looking for a job and on benefits and so on. And he couldn't believe that he was on benefits. Anyway, cut long story short, he got himself together, started a little small business.
Yeah.
And that small business meant he was communicating to some manufacturer in another country.
Okay.
So he managed to strike a deal with them and find a shop to sell the items to. Did that. And then in about 3 years or so, 3 or 4 years, he said, by the time he got to about, I think it was, in actual fact, this happened to him when he was about 51 or 52. When I spoke to him, he was about 55, 56.
Okay.
So in that period of time, he made his first million.
Whoa, okay.
He made his first million. And he said, you know, that was an eye-opener for him. Because he never would have thought in, you know, because it's a cliche, a million years, that he'd end up being a millionaire.
Yeah.
So it does go to show that it just depends on your mindset and how you're going to reconfigure your thinking on what you do. If you let all of your adversities, all your challenges get to you, and you're carrying out the burden saying, I'm a failure, I'm not this and that, then that probably will be the end game. But if you're not sure what you can do, then it's so important, I think, at 50 Plus to go and seek out a mentor, a coach, just to bounce the idea back objectively to you, what you can do. Because you may have some friends and they may think, well, I don't know what you can do. They may not have that professional insight.
That's right.
And I think for you to be able to do that, I think it's very, very important.
Yeah.
It's very, very important to do that. Get a mentor. Give us a shout.
Yeah.
If you want to know us, you know, just put in the comment section you need some help and we'll hook you up. We'll help you. But it's very, very important to do that. And I think that we're going to look at sort of a little roadmap now to what you can do to help you. Because starting over can be
it knocks your confidence.
Scary.
Yeah, it's not. Yeah, and it knocks
your
your confidence
can be at the lowest it's ever been.
And then think about it. I think like when you make decisions in your judgment, you frame it based upon. Sorry, excuse me. You frame it based upon those circumstances, and so therefore, you know, your whole belief about what you're capable of doing is just it's just at all-time low.
No, exactly. And I think that, you know, I think sometimes if your confidence is low, starting a new venture can be difficult.
That's right.
Your fear of failure.
Without a doubt.
Because the fear of failure is connected to, I don't have long left. I can't get this wrong.
Yeah.
So therefore, you don't want to start it.
Again, that's right.
But you should do.
Yeah.
You should do. Yeah. That's a time to do
start.
it.
That's right.
And your mind is more focused.
That's right.
So you can turn something that's a fear into something that's going to be a driving force.
That's right.
Yeah? So you don't do that. So I think it's important that to create a social network around you, if you can, that's positive.
That's right.
Positive thinkers. And what's negative, get rid of them.
You got time for that. You got time for that.
Yes. Keep people around that's positive. Think, well, okay, this is what to do.
Energizes you.
People are going to drive you. Yeah. People are not going to be happy with you just sitting there or taking it like easy. People are going to drive you, motivate you, saying, come on, that's useless, do it better. People are going to push you so that you can get up one day and go, right, that's it. You know, it's important to have that network around you. If you don't have that around you, it's going to be difficult. You have to motivate yourself. So those are important things.
And you know, just on that note, I had a meeting with someone the other day, actually, a younger person, and he was telling me about what he was doing. And I was so inspired, Andrew, by what he was doing. I'm just like, damn, I need to get my game on. You know what I'm trying to say?
Yeah.
And I think those things are really important.
Yeah. I those things are very, very important. And there are lots of inspirations out there. I think just your mindset is very, very important. Get your head in the right space to be able to see opportunities, grasp them, and make them work for you. It's very, very important. And that needs to happen with what you're doing. So sleep, very, very important. Exercise, very, very important. Watch what you eat, stuff the processed foods, hydrate yourselves, and all those sort of things. Very, very important when you get to 50 plus. You have to check up with a doctor. Go to the doctor, get your little checkups and that. Make sure that you're okay. Take your supplements. Do those things. Very, very, very important. Very important. And if you are, as a man, thinking, well, you know what? It'd be nice to have a partner, whatever it is. Now that you have had your life experiences, now that you've learned.
That's right.
Through the labor of love and all sorts. When you're choosing somebody, you can be a little more picky now.
That's right,
You can think, well, hold on. Or you may think, well, okay, I need somebody that aligns with my vision, aligns with where I'm going.
That's right.
As opposed to aligning to somebody else.
Yeah.
I also think it's important as a man.
Yeah.
I think so. As a man of that era. I think that's very important.
Yeah.
Right? But excuse me. But I think it's important to look at those things. Important to be connected with those things. So
and I would say, you know, building the relationship with yourself, because I think once that you strengthen that inner self, but that sense of yourself and who you are, which I think can be lost when you go through divorces and separations and relationships and those difficult times. You can lose yourself in terms of who you are.
Yeah, you can. You have a lot of trauma. And I think the roadmap to success, it is a tough one. But it's only tough because you're trying to beat the way you're thinking.
That's right.
Not because it's hard to do.
Yeah.
It's beat the way you're thinking. So
I think self-awareness is a key.
Yeah. So let's look at that element.
Yeah.
Yeah. So before you can bounce back, we're running short of time. You've got to accept your situation.
Yeah.
Here I am. This is where I am. Look at where I am. Don't look and say, if it wasn't because of this person, wasn't because of that person, I will be better. Leave that out.
That's right,
Just accept where you are. That's your starting point.
Yes,
right? And then reclaim your story. Say, right, this is where I am. This is where do I want to be? Work out where you're going to be. Yeah? Now, what you can do, this helps you thinking and preparing your mind. Write yourself a letter about what's happened, your life story. Write yourself a letter about what's gone on, right?
Yeah.
And then write a second letter, not in the same letter.
Yeah.
Write a letter, what do you want to call it? Whatever. Just write out what's happened in your life. Yeah? the challenge you faced, what happened, and so on. Then write a second letter to yourself, about what I put here, about what you've learned. I've learned I should do this and that. And when you do that, you'll consider, I've learned I'm not going to trust this, I'm not going to trust that anymore. You think, well, no, it's about the decisions that you made. It's decisions what you made. Did you make the wrong decision? Was that the right decision for you?
That's right,
at the time. Was that the right decision to take that particular job? Where was it going? Did you think about it properly? Did you see the little red flags at work that things were going to go? What did you do about it? You just kept on going down to the pub, couldn't be bothered, and you forgot that, well, hold on, things might change here. Should have been on the ball quicker. So write out what you've learned so you don't make those same mistakes again. Rebuild from the inside out, not what you could do out there, from inside. Everything starts from in here. Your thinking, your thoughts, your understanding of what you do. Very, very important. Very, very important for you to do that. And if you're not doing that, well, you're not going to get the type of activity you should be getting. So, action steps. I believe you should be working with a coach, therapist, whatever it is, to look at the process of what you've been through, difficulties and so on, and getting rid of that. And just getting rid of it, dumping it,
I think and you can reframe that whole experience.
Just getting rid of it, as it were, and then so you can accept where you are. All right? And start a journal. Start a journal about what you want to do, where you're going, what you've done to take those steps forward to how you want to be. 5 minutes, I think. And I'm a great believer in this. If you don't have to meditate, learn. It's great. If you haven't done affirmations before, it's not namby-pamby. Do it. It works. Because our brains are like a computer, and you're just programming it to think in a different way.
That's right.
And you get those affirmations in, like, I'm a winner, I will win, I'm succeed. All these things every day. It's important. If you're not sure how to do that, hook us up. Speak to us, and we'll show you how to do that.
You know what the funny thing is, just really quickly, Andrew, and I think it's important.
Let me just last
okay,
point.
Go on.
And learn emotional regulation. You have to regulate your emotions. Don't let your emotions pop off and you go, it was terrible, they did this to me. Just say, well, it's an experience. Regulate your emotions so you're in control of what you're doing. And particularly important as a relationships as well. Don't burden that relationship with, you're carrying a bag of issues and you get in your relationship with somebody, you go, there you go, and you start judging the person based on all the negative experiences you've had. Don't do that. Regulate your emotions and understand it's your choice and decision making what you're doing.
No, I was going to just say about managing your thoughts, because I think it's so important. I remember reading something way back that we have about 60 to 70,000 thoughts that we have in our mind each day, and actually 85% they were saying were negative. So you think about, if you're just running around with this negativity all the time in your thoughts, it's going to have an impact in terms of how you feel about stuff and how you act and how about you go about your day.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Very, very important to recognize that. And I think that, just to think about, just we finish off here, I think that chasing money won't energize you. Looking for approval from other people won't energize you either. You've got to think about what it is that you want. Yes, money's important, you need to that there, but you've got to think about what you want. So do you want, if you've lost everything, if you want a nice home for yourself, the comfort, the people around you that support you, then go get it. That's important. If that's not important to you anymore, then if happiness is, then it's about being happy with yourself. And that's a cliche thing, but you got to understand, being happy with yourself is so important. Being happy in your own space, in your own skin, how you are, is so important. Particularly when you have more days behind you than you have in front
of you.
Very important to understand those things. So I think it's important. And remember that if you've been through lots of pain, it strengthens you. It provides you with character. And some people haven't been able to do that. So you've got to understand that. And, I think it's important to think about that. Yeah. So build a resilient mind, build a resilient body, make yourself a resilient this vessel.
Yeah.
Really. You understand those sorts of things. Very, very important. But I think we're going to sort of end it there. I hope you found some of that useful. I think it's very, very important to look at these things, understand that. And if if you are struggling and you're 50 plus, and you feel a few guys, well, obviously we work with women too, obviously, but I think guys again have a specific issue there and problem with how they see themselves, how they want to position themselves. I think talk to us, hook us up in the comment section, or contact us, and you'll see in our switching you can get to our website or email us and reach out, and we'll be there to help. Anyway, on that note, we're going to end it there, but thank you very, very much again. Please like, share, and subscribe, and we'll speak soon. Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Bye-bye.